How can uniforms affect public school education in the United States? Caitlin Nyheiser, Betsy Davis,
Gavin Warlett,
Bailey Adams. Our thesis: implementing uniforms in public schools in the U.S. would be beneficial because they introduce a more orderly environment, improve student academics, solve economic struggles, and shape students for adulthood.
Okay, for the environmental lens, school uniforms will reduce crime rates and create a safer school environment for students in public schools. Okay, so because of uniforms, intruders can easily be recognized. When an intruder enters the building and you are running out of the school, if everyone is not dressed the same, you might easily be recognized as the intruder. So that will make students obviously feel safer in the atmosphere. The following crime rates over here: assault, fighting, robbery, possession of weapons, drugs, and vandalism decreased by about 34 to 74% individually. Okay, according to this graph, the blue is the before uniforms are implemented, and the red is after uniforms are implemented. As we can see, sexual offense, robbery, drug use, and weapons decreased tremendously due to uniforms being implemented into the schools. Along with implementing uniforms, making students feel safer, students also have the ability to feel confident and welcomed in the environment that they are attending every single day. When students feel wanted and confident, they are more likely to be engaged and participate in activities, and many will find them just feeling confident and that they fit in better with their peers rather than being classified as different.
Alright, so my lens is cultural and social, and the school uniforms can improve academics and reduce bullying. In the classroom, students' test scores improve and bullying decreases a lot more because they feel more comfortable in an environment where everyone's dressed the same, because they're not focusing on name brand or hot clothes that everyone's wearing that they don't wear because they can't either afford it or they just don't have any. Alright, so in this graph we see that 70% of teenagers are bullied, or have seen bullied. 28% are in grades 6 to 12, 10% are in grades 9 to 12. And we see in the bottom row that you see it mostly in classrooms, bathrooms, hallways, gym class, cafeterias, etc. In this graph, we see that the acceptance level of students are in private schools that have uniforms. So in public schools, it's 36%, in private schools, it's 47%. That's 11%. That is a lot to be bullied, to be more accepting in a uniform environment.
Now we have to look at the economic lens of things, and the uniforms actually do have a large financial impact, and they affect a lot of people, but particularly parents and the school, because that's where most of the money is in uniforms. So for parents, like Lexi said, a lot of students wouldn't be wearing like the cool clothes, and for parents that can be a big financial burden. So having uniforms, especially because a lot of uniforms cost less money than normal outfits, so that can actually save the parents a lot of money. Now we have a graph here, combating bullying and stuff. So that also just shows that those cool outfits, you just don't really have to worry about that, and the money the parents will save. Now here we are looking at the school's perspective on this. Now, because of the environment that uniforms promote, which is a more orderly one with less behavior issues, the school will actually save a lot of money because the bad behavior costs the school a lot of money with things like destruction of property, and just students a lot of times end up breaking things and has to be replaced. And so when that goes down, the school gets a lot of money. And this sort of initiates a system where when schools get more money, it helps everybody because really that money is coming from taxpayers in the area. So everybody sort of gains when uniforms get implemented.
Uniforms help shape students for their adult life by dissolving the haves and have-nots between them and others. Okay. When uniforms are implemented in schools, we see an increase in attendance and a decrease in social barriers and bullying. This will help them in their adult life, knowing that they can be accepted in social gatherings. And attendance rate also helps them with jobs, coming on time and looking well for their bosses. In this graph, we can see that 44% of elementary kids believe that it makes the classroom environment less competitive, and 57% of middle school kids believe it makes it less competitive.
For our solutions, our first solution is to allow the parents in the school district to vote on whether or not uniforms should be implemented, because this would basically just leave it to the choice of the parents, because since they're parenting the students, and students are the ones that really get affected here, it'd be fair to let them choose rather than just the school. Some consequences of this might be, they might be biased because some parents might just not want to pay for the uniforms for some reason, but yeah, so the next solution is to give students an actual sort of privilege to get out of uniform days. Now, this could sort of give the students some of the individualism they might lose with uniforms, and it could also be like an incentive to have better behavior. However, they might violate the dress code during these days, and with uniforms, you might not have a very established dress code, so that could be another issue you'd have to have with that. But our next solution is that uniforms could be, yes, less like formal, and they could be more like casual outfits that people would normally wear. This way, students wouldn't really mind wearing them as much, and you could also give more uniform choices, so students would still be able to get kind of a good amount of like individualism. But yeah, students could still feel that it's not enough choice to what they want to wear, and they're still forfeiting their right to choose what they wear.
And this is just our works cited in our image definition.
Okay, a couple questions for you. I'm going to start with you, Gavin, first. So having finished your project, what, if anything, do you consider to be a gap in your team's research that, if addressed, would make you feel more confident about your conclusion?
I feel like probably one of the weak points is that our lenses maybe don't come together as well as they could have, because I think we all think that we could have communicated more during, even when we were making our IRRs, so that we would understand each other's lenses better, so that when it came to actually making our presentation, we wouldn't sort of have to spend as much time establishing what our argument would be and how we bring all of our perspectives together.
Okay. Caitlin, what is an example of a compelling argument from one of your peers' individual reports that you decided to exclude from your team's presentation?
So in one of our IRRs and their argument, they stated that uniforms they decrease students' individuality. So we decided to get rid of that because we feel that not all school environments, when uniforms are implemented, will decrease the students' individuality, because students can still have the opportunity to express themselves with the accessories that they wear.
Okay, thank you. Bailey, in what way did you improve your ability to work with the group as a result of this project?
This project definitely made working on communication better and understanding others' point of views and how to actually write and work together.
Okay, thank you. And then finally, Lexi, in the future, what change would you make to your group's norms, and how would you expect that to improve your team presentation?
Basically what everyone else said, communication. We didn't really talk as much throughout the project as we probably should have as a team. So when it came to putting it all into the presentation, it was kind of hard to find like what we wanted to transition from and, find in each other's papers and, we couldn't really find what we all had in common. Because some of them were like mine and another group member's paper were kind of similar. And one of them was just completely different. So we wanted to improve our communication skills better. We were talking about that actually the other day.
Thank you.